After the album came out, the first album, it was just like, wow, this is really happening. The stakes became high. And then everybody was talking about sophomore jinx. But I never was one for jinx and spooks and shit. Like, I don't believe in none of that shit. I'm not a superstitious dude. Like Stevie said, if you believe in things that you don't understand, then you're gonna suffer, you know what I mean? Like, so I never gave none of that shit no weight. Sophomore jinx, the fuck is that? I'm going to make low-end theory.
He made me feel like it was do or die. That's how I felt. We were sitting there talking and he was like, yo, we gotta do the damn thing this second LP. You gotta start coming to the studio, not only on time, but just come. You know what I'm saying? And spit these verses I know you can spit. I was like, all right, kid. So the first day came around and we was just doing it. Like going back and forth, like, yeah, we gonna do it this year.
We were in our groove. It's like you've been practicing for so long. When you pass the ball, you don't gotta look, you know, like you know your dude's gonna be there. So I think that was the movement, you know, the momentum. It all came to be. We knew how to make music.
Snares cut, the kicks were big, like the bass was big. That Tribe shit was like putting your feet in a new, fresh pair of kicks. The samples were on point, tip was on point, the productions were on point. Bob Power, another key figure.
It was not by any grand design. I was just in a very huge learning and experimentation phase, and the guys were breaking ground musically. I call it the Sgt. Pepper's of hip hop.
Low End Theory came out. Nothing was touching Tribe. Nothing. Low End Theory. Forget it. Shut up. Get the fuck out of my face. It's the illest shit in the world.
We loved it, but it was very different than the first album. It wasn't as left in some ways, and we were concerned that it was maybe going to miss the mark, that maybe they were trying to go too commercial, but it didn't have the artistic integrity that People's Instinctive Travels did. And we were fucking completely wrong.
Yes. California, how y'all doing? Yo, growing up in New York City in the hood, I wanted to get away. How many of y'all feel like sometimes y'all just want to get away? Well, I wrote this song in 1990 for this album called Low End Theory. And it's called Excursions. And I want to get away. Go like this. I'm gonna read it off my shirt. Yo, Mos Def is gonna help me. But these are the lyrics right here. Here we go. Back in the days when I was a teenager, before I had status and before I had a vision, you can find an hashtag listening to him. My pops used to say, it reminded him of me. My simple daddy, don't you know that things go in cycles? Wait up, Bobby Brown, just hit me like Michael. It's so respected, yo, it's for the looking. If you got the money, give us glory. Come on, everybody, let's get with the flower. Still got room on the top for the back door. Listen to the vibes, we get the mental picture of the black man, the black woman's picture. And that line, my pops used to say it reminded him of bebop. It was true, based in the improvisation of jazz and sometimes the freestyling of hip hop, like just being right there on the moment and just rhyming about something and changing a pattern or whatever. Although it's devoid of melody, it still has pattern, and it still is improvisational. And the same thing for jazz. You know, if somebody's playing a solo and they're improvising, they may be searching and finding something melodically, whereas MCs search and find something lyrically.
Probably their most important contribution was the canvas that they used. Was a lot of records that were in our parents' collection that we didn't bother to look at.
They introduced me to jazz. As eventually, the more and more I became acquainted with jazz, the more I started looking at Q-Tip and thinking like, man, this dude is Charlie Parker. And Charlie Parker was like a father of bebop, a father of a whole new brand of jazz that came about. And I would say that Tribe Called Quest was definitely the fathers of a whole new brand of hip hop and music at that time.
We do it for the strong. We do it for the meek. We do it for
the rave of the town to your foes and your friends. So push it along. Trails we blaze. Don't deserve the gong. Don't deserve the praise. The tranquility will make you unball your fists before we put hip hop on a brand new twist.
In making the Low End Theory, there's definitely, what I think is evident to everyone, and that's the emergence of Phife Diggy Dog.
I think of being on the F train in Queens, on the way to Manhattan to the studio, 25th Street, writing my rhyme on the train. By the time I got to Battery Studios, I walked in there, I was a little late. So I'm like, yo, what up, fellas? Yo, I'm ready to get busy, what's good? Yo, the mic's waiting for you. So I went in there and spit my verse. And then I just remember walking back into the control room and everybody being like, yo, son, oh, you've arrived.
Yo, microphone check 1, 2, what is this? The 5-foot assassin with the roughneck business.
When he came through on Bugging Out the first time we heard it,
Yo, microphone check 1, 2, what is this? What?
Yo, microphone check 1, 2, what is this?
the way that I describe that, yo, is the same way that NWA busted through the Martin Luther King I Had a Dream piece of paper on the Express Yourself video. Like, they busted through that piece of paper like what?
It's like how you put the perfect screw in the hole. That's what Phife was to Tribe Called Quest.
Fight this, fight that. Where you going, where you at?
You had one voice that was like high, and then you had Tip, who was like in the middle.
Tip is very smooth. Phife is very hype. The yin and yang of those two, that to me was the perfect marriage.
He brought the street to Tribe Called Quest. If Q-Tip was esoteric on Pluto, Phife would bring him back to the moon, so that it was in the realm of human understanding.
Fight dog is on the mic and I'm smooth like what?
Phife was just kind of like hard, 5-foot assassin with the roughneck business. Siemens Furniture. I mean, he didn't fuck around. He just...
that was the first rhyme that came to mind when you just mentioned Phife for some reason. I was like, I'm not even gonna say that, but it's memorable.
Let me hit it from the back, girl, I won't catch a hernia. Bust off on your couch, now you got Siemens Furniture.
It's here. Siemens' most exciting Washington's birthday sale ever.
My favorite line in hip-hop, bust a nut on your couch, now you got Siemens Furniture.
You think you're hot and on fire, you go to Siemens Furniture and buy like your black leather couch and think you are the man. Siemens Furniture had the furniture that fell apart immediately, but it looked hot. It looked hot. But you were still in the hood.
For the price that's always right, Siemens first.